I'm 8 kilometers in. Look at the view, guys. Look at this. How are you feeling?
Good.
Good?
Ice has been getting into the boots. Feet feel cold for a little bit, but then you realise actually they're not cold.
Yeah.
It's just...
Do you want me to get you a meal?
I'm totally fine.
Oh, you're very
Really?
content, this is good.
Magst du vor? Geh ruhig vor. No one is inside. Thank you so much. So here I am, and I still can't believe it that I made it. But yeah, I'm feeling so good, but tired. Now it's time to rest.